You a little moist in the pants there?
It will kill you.
Don't go fucking buy a Busa if you've never ridden a bike.
It is time for the almighty 1000cc cherry poppin'. That is right. There will be a, not new rider, somebody that's actually ridden a 600 before, riding 1000 for the first time. They've ridden a Tanqueray 900, which is a triple, a little bit different than an inline 4000, but the R1 gets some love. Let's go.
Same age, bro. Think about that. I'm a little bit older than he is, but these two things, this machine and this human, same age. They were born together. This one was in a factory, and I don't know about that one.
Frankly.
When you got off of the bike, were your hands shaking and was your heart racing?
A little bit, yeah. A little bit of both.
That's all you need right there. That is fucking beautiful.
I will die. I will kill myself on that.
So here we are again, man.
Yeah.
Here we are again. What'd you think before you got on this thing?
So I was expecting more than the 600.
Okay.
I was expecting a lot more than that. If you don't know where
That's the MT-07, by the way.
It's a tripod right now. Yeah. Yeah. So I was expecting more than the MT.
Yeah.
I was expecting more than the 600. I was not expecting the butt pucker factor that I received.
So, what did you get? How was your experience? Seriously, like, what'd you think as you were riding? Obviously, I got some of your thoughts while we were talking, but what did you feel? What was the first initial, like, when we pulled out of the gas station, what's the first thing that you felt in the first couple seconds of riding it?
So right after we pulled out of the gas station, I know I said it to you, even just like from 5 miles an hour to like 40 pulling out of this gas station, I was like, this thing's good. Like you can tell even just that little bit, it's ready to move.
Yeah.
And so at that point I knew it was gonna be an experience, and I was still unprepared first time. Because we had to do a little cruising before we actually got on it. And then the very first time I got on it, it power wheelied. And then I finally got calmed down from that, and we got over here, and I started trying to go around people, and the bars decided that they were gonna beat themselves into the side of the tank. Also fun and exciting, but you know, you're trying to pass somebody and change lanes, and there's a car coming, and you can't get the bike to go straight because it's doing this. Good times, good times.
For those of you that don't know, first generation R1 does not have a steering damper. That is before Logic kicked in. This bike is fast, but it's not logical fast. They just put a bunch of stuff together and just made it as fast as they could. When you get on this bike, instantly, as soon as you pass 60, 70 miles an hour, about 50% throttle, the bars, you're riding and they wiggle as soon as the front end gets light. And apparently he never experienced that before.
So I've had a tank slapper on.
Yeah, okay.
Like twice. Okay. Came down from a wheelie with the bars turned a little bit, they and then they straighten themselves up.
Okay, yeah, that's because you landed a little.
Yeah, it makes sense. This is different. It's not the same. It's not like a little wobble and it straightens itself up. This is like if you didn't know how to correct it, which is just staying loose and getting off the throttle, it will kill you.
Okay.
Like this, it will. I fully believe if you just panicked and kept it pinned, you would probably die.
I mean, you
just
can
throw you into the woods.
You can, and it has. Like, this is the thing. So when people were around back when this bike came out, which was '98, that was one of the biggest things that they said about this thing, is it's a death trap, and there was a bunch of people crashing them and wrecking them. That has not changed. So what do you feel about it ergonomically? Like, right, you've ridden modern bikes, you haven't really ridden any older bikes. How does this bike, which is almost 30 years old, feel compared to something new in terms of touch?
Like we talked about on the headset, I was a lot more scrunched up than I expected.
Okay.
I would demonstrate for the camera.
Go for it, man.
On the 600, I felt like, you know, your legs are high, obviously.
Yes.
But I felt like they were like here.
Okay.
Like there was some bend there, but I didn't feel like crunched up. The first time I got like full tuck, it's like my elbows are hitting my knees.
Yeah.
And that's fine. I just wasn't prepared for it. And then that's what you were saying, that the front end's so short on these, and which I think contributes to the death wobble.
The other thing that happens is the seat height on this bike is a little bit lower. on, when you get like 600, he's speaking about my ZX6 specifically. Watch that video if you haven't already. But the seat height is a little bit more aggressive on the 600. So I think the bar placement is pretty much the same, or the peg placement, but this has a lot more slope to it, to where your back end is a little bit higher.
Because I was in the tank like the whole time.
Yeah.
You noticed that? I noticed it got hotter.
Okay.
Then definitely hotter than that.
Yes.
Stayed pretty cool on that. Even hotter, I think, than the 600, especially when we were just cruising at slower speeds. It's like, okay, I get why people say they're cooking on these things. Understand? Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I appreciate it. Thanks for making me not want one anymore.
Oh, it scared you out of it?
A newer one maybe. Something with a steering dampener. I will die. I will kill myself on one of these. And I'm confident enough to. That's why I bought the 07. That's why I didn't buy 1,000 off the lot. Because I know myself.
Yeah.
And I knew what I would be getting into to an extent, and it's worse than I thought.
Interesting.
Better than I thought, but worse than I thought.
So in terms of, all right, so your expectation, obviously this is a first gen R1. It's the slowest R1 there is. From here forward, they just get faster. So picturing that with what you got today, was it a lot more than you expected jumping on 1,000? You rode the 600, so you felt what power was compared to the MT-07 that he rides, which is plenty powerful, but it's not a sport bike. How does this compare to what your expectation was for a bike this big?
Everything is more.
Okay.
It's faster, it's heavier, it pulls the entire time.
Yeah.
There's more torque, there's more power, everything is more. And it's a lot sketchier than the ZX6 because of the way, you can tell because of the way that it is.
Yeah.
It was fun. It was definitely an experience. Do it again, but I don't think I want to own one. At least not a first gen.
What would you say was the biggest adrenaline rush that you got from this? Was it the speed, or was it the sketch from the wobble?
Absolutely the sketch. Absolutely the sketch. That we went to pass a car and I got it over into the left lane and there's a car coming towards me. I've got plenty of space, but I get over and I get on the throttle and the whole front end starts doing this. And I was like, I'm rapidly running out of space to get back in front of this car, and I can't stay on the throttle because it's moving all over the place, and I can't turn because it's moving all over. So I'm like, I had to go through the process in my head of like, okay, loosen up, let off the throttle, let it get stable again, and then try to get back on the power. And as soon as I got back on it, it moved around again, which is.
And this is all happening while we are over, not a double yellow, but a dotted yellow with oncoming traffic facing you in the same lane.
I was in Mexico on a close course.
No, we were going normal speeds. We were passing the car in front of us was going like 20 and a 60, so we went around them briskly.
Didn't exceed the speed limit at all.
But damn, man. I mean, honestly, it is fun, and I like everything. Obviously, it's my bike, so I understand like everything that you're saying. It's a surprising experience.
Yeah.
This bike itself is like a lot of people's dreams, right? They had this on a poster when they were a kid. If you were born in the 70s and 80s and you were 20 in that range whenever this bike came out, you know what this is. Does it justify the hype of what this bike was when it first came out? The R1 was groundbreaking, the fastest bike. It was super sketchy. Everyone loved it. It was like the pinnacle of sport bikes in '98.
Yeah.
Do you see that?
I think so, absolutely. As you were just saying, it was the pinnacle. There was nothing that touched this.
Yeah.
And the sketchiness I just felt, still, I have not experienced anything. I used to do a lot of dumb shit as a kid. And this thing, it's on another level. I see why they came out with a steering damper. And I see why, like, they started making them longer and started changing the angles and trying to make them more stable, because it's fun. Jesus.
You're on dirt. You were on dirt.
Would you say, all right, so we've had 25 years of bikes getting faster. Would you say that this already is too fast?
For the average person. an experienced rider, probably somebody more experienced than me, frankly. I've been riding for over a year now. And when we pulled back in here and I got off, I had to go walk around for a minute. Like you saw that. Yeah. And I wasn't pushing it by any means. This bike is capable of so much more than what I just did to it. And I don't have any more than that in me.
Anything else you want to tell somebody that may have not ridden something like this or hasn't ridden it?
Don't go fucking buy a Busa if you've never ridden a bike. I don't care if they're brand new. I don't care if they've got steering dampeners. I don't care how many fucking ride modes they have, your traction control. I don't care. Don't do it. Don't go buy this on Facebook Marketplace for $5 grand and think you're gonna be a street Rossi. Is that still a term? Do people still use that?
Absolutely.
Yeah, don't think you're gonna be a street Rossi on this if you've never ridden a bike. If you've only ever ridden dirt bikes, which I had before I got the MT-07, don't fucking think you're gonna jump on this and be okay. It's not gonna be a good day for you. That's all.
The last question we have. Did you shit your pants?
I mean,
That pause says it all.
I think so, but it wouldn't hurt to check.
It was fun, man. I appreciate it, dude. Thank you for letting me ride the MT.
Absolutely.
Glad you got to enjoy
Thanks
this.
for letting me experience this death trap.
Crazy enough, glad I talked you out of buying 1,000. I don't know that that's a thing that people do very often, but